shoulder. Still one that's very sound and athletic at the ground. I like to balance him up and give him more depth of body. I like to open him up in his rib cage and give him more boldness there as well. But a good set of bulls here in this class as well.
And our placings in class 33 bulls. First place is entry number 43, Hilltop TM Expo, shown by Jackson Farms, Greens Fork, Indiana. And second place, entry 44, Spiegel's Amazon Forest, shown by Gail Spiegel, Fairland, Indiana.
The full-blood low-line female show, your spring heifer calf champion is entry 37. 37 is UF Miss Tasha 11T 28D, shown by the University of Findlay. And the reserve spring heifer calf champion, entry 39, UF Miss Val Holly 24Y 14D, also shown by the University of Findlay, Ohio.
We're now showing for Division 4 Junior Champion Bowl on the red pole side. Our judge on the red pole side is Brandon Callis of Minco, Oklahoma. He's a 2005 graduate of Texas A&M, has a master's degree in animal breeding and genetics from Kansas State. He's currently the livestock judging coach and instructor at Red Lands Community College in El Reno, Oklahoma. Brandon and his wife Kelly run a small diversified livestock operation.
Again, a good division of bulls here in this fall and summer division. Our bull here that led off this division, again, very sound, very useful type of a bull. Love his length, love his growth there as well. You get him out and compare him to these other two. I like to see him bolder, more muscular, but at the same time, maybe he has an advantage in terms of joint work, maybe over them as well. The bull that came out of that next class, again, love the shape of him. A little more unique in his feature out here, a heavier bone one that's bolder in his center there as well. Still attractive enough in his look. I think he's still a sound made bull that you'd still like to maybe just change that shoulder angle and toe my head a little truer, but it's not hurting the way he's getting out and going here. A really, really massive masculine one here that's got a ton of shape, and he looks like a bull. You appreciate that about him. Not as heavy bone, maybe a little more forward in his shoulder as well, but like we said, want to set him down just a shade more comfortable off of his rear skeleton. But a nice set of bulls to me. The one that surfaces out of this division is out of our second class. I'm going to use him to be our champ.
And division champions entry number 42, DFM Prime Time, shown by McCall Show Cattle.
We're bringing the second place bull in again, much like the one in front. Very, very sound footed, very, very useful in his kind. Want to relax him in his spine and give him more lower body here. Again, you kind of got to pick your poison here, kind of what you want to live with, where you want to be on things. Again, I just love the masculinity and the look of the bull out of our final class. Going to use him to be our reserve here in this division.
And our reserve division champion is Hilltop TM Expo, shown by Jackson Farms out of Greens Fork, Indiana. We are now ready to show for our grand champion bull on the red pole side.
That would not help us. Hold on, Daddy's gonna show us all. Here, let me put the backpack. Want the ribbon? No? You set that in the,
Go to Papa for a minute?
stroller.
Papa a minute? All right. We're just bad enough for this week. I know. Daddy gets stuff, okay? We'll get some more to eat for lunch for breakfast.
There could be some applesauce.
Oh, we had an applesauce, but Grandpa and Mommy and Grandma and Buddy are hungry too. We didn't stop this morning because we couldn't hardly get out of the house this morning. We didn't want to get out of bed. We didn't want to get out of bed.
This is probably the toughest decision I've had through the whole show. There's 4 outstanding heifers out here. I'll be the first to admit the heifer I'm starting with, she doesn't quite move good enough for me. She's quite a bit more restricted off that hind leg than I'd like to see. But I think after that, she's just got so many things to offer. I just like her type and her kind in terms of her side view. I like that extra length of hip. I like the power that she possesses in terms of her bone. She too is a female. It's just got a tremendous amount of top to her. She carries it well down through her stifle. Like I said, I definitely like the relaxer, the way she comes off that hind leg. But I think today, she just excels the class in terms of length of body standpoint and overall power standpoint. Young lady's heifer comes out too, no question. The soundest moving heifer probably in the class. She too is a female. It's really long in terms of her side view. She's very nice in terms of her lines. She's a heifer. If I was going to change, I'd like to change the way her head's designed. I think it takes away from her attractiveness a little bit from the side. She gets a little pencil necked, I think, and then I'd like to change that and maybe pick her up just a notch in terms of her loin, but extremely functional, made kind of a female. The oddball out comes out here in 3. This heifer is extremely deep in terms of her rib from flank to flank. She's really rugged in terms of her bone. She gets a little misleading, I think, with her hair coat. If you take that hair off of her, she's probably the lighter muscled heifer of the 3. She's definitely the shorter hipped heifer, and definitely got to square her up from hooks to her pins. I'd like to change the way she comes off that front end. She's ever so slightly twisted in terms of that forearm. Finish out the class with a really square hipped made kind of a female. Heifer maybe gets just a little too bold in terms of her shoulders. She gets a little squarer over that chine. You definitely like to relax her the way she comes out of her hips. She's almost just too correct hipped, and it affects the way she hits the ground. She gets quite a bit smaller in terms of her foot circumference.
Here in our bull selection here on the red pole side, really 3 nice bulls, and I wish we could take pieces of each one of them and kind of put it together and have the assembled piece you'd love. But I think they're all still very, very useful in their kind, as well as our reserve divisions out here. Our calf division winner, obviously the one out here, if you're wanting to add look and softness and a correct look in terms of their joints, he's the one you can get into. I love the depth of body. I love the smoothness of him. Just has a really quality presence about him. Still has enough squareness and hip in him. Again, maybe not the biggest footed one in the world, wants to snap him just a touch today in terms of his passion, but angles read right and true. Love just the look and quality of that one. Probably the most athletic and agile one of the crew is the one here in our second division. A good footed one, a good pasturing angle to him. He's also probably the one you really love in terms of his front third and the way it comes together. Probably of these 3 for his size, gives up a little more in terms of his body and just shape, want to open him up and give him more width all the way through. But boy, get him loin down, he gives you an incredible look right here from the side. You love him at the surface. Obviously the one, if you want to add muscle and boldness and bone and be a little more aggressive, this guy can get it done here out of our third division. Just love the shape of him. Still one that attaches his head and neck high off of his shoulder. Of these 3, he's the one you want to change though in terms of his angles up front, make him reach and make him just a little bit sounder there in his knee and in his shoulder. And so just kind kind of a piece of each one of them. If you could put them together, you have it. Just kind of got to go with those. To me, there's two of them. They're a little more of a changer, if you will. On the opposite extremes in terms of the spectrum. One of them just kind of pulls himself together a little better today, and I like his joints. Little bull here out of our first division is going to be our champ.
Really nice single entry red heifer here. Can stand a lot of competition. A heifer that you gotta love in terms of her length of spine. She's exceptionally long from her pins back. She too is a female. It's adequate in terms of her soundness. She reaches out nice fluid stride. Very feminine the way she's dined out in terms of her neck. If I was gonna change it, I'd like to relax her just a tick in terms of the center of her spine when we set her in motion. But an outstanding long body kind of a female.
It's okay.
Here for reserve, we'll bring that second bull in, a reserve division. Again, a good-footed one, a flexible and athletic one. Just needs more body, more substance. Kind of comes down to these two bulls. If you got a set of cows that have plenty of power, you can use that one in terms of fixing them structurally. If you got a set of cows that need just more base width and more boldness, to me, he's a very, very good changer in terms of that. Again, get a little hard on him up front, but to me, that's where a dividing line comes in structure I try to get on. I still like his uniqueness and his presence out here. I'm going to use that bull out of our final division to be a reserve.
All right, we're gonna show groups now, okay? Let's show
Our grand
groups.
champion bull
Emma, can you take
goes
our
to
camera?
entry number 30, Shooter's Dakota, shown by Jacob Shooter out of Frankton, Indiana. And our reserve champion,
We're gonna go.
Red Angus bull, is entry 42, DFM Prime Time, shown by McCall Show Cattle.
Over on the low-line full-blood heifer show, class 6.